All of you, first of all, would like to welcome you all to this very interesting marathon, very useful marathon, as I would say. Would like to welcome all the people who are waiting for the session. Rajiv, Anukriti, Jasmine Kaur, Tanuj, Shaurya, everyone, who has been waiting for this session. Thank you so very much, first of all, for your time. And let me tell you one thing, that this session is going to be a game changer in your overall revision. I'll tell you why. When I talk about, first of all, CDS examination, we are seeing a proper level up of this examination by UPSC. In past 2-3 years, we have seen that the level of the UPSC or the level of the CDS examination for that matter is increasing day by day. And ultimately, what does that tell you? That tells you that you have to prepare accordingly. So in this marathon, in this geographies marathon, what I have planned, it's a mixed topic marathon. Mainly, I'll be focusing more on the geomorphology and oceanography. Not much related to the climatology topics are going to be there. So main focus is going to be on geomorphology and oceanography in today's class. But the best part is that you will be getting 50 to 55 questions to practice in today's class, which are going to be from very important topics. We'll also discuss various tricks, that how do we solve those particular questions, how do we remember those particular points, and I'm sure that overall exercise is going to be very much fruitful for all the people who are watching this very session. So it's a small initiative from me and Sharad sir to make sure that your revision is on point before you go to the real examination, and I can assure you that this session is going to be a big positive in your overall revision exercise. आपकी जो overall revision है उसमें ये जो session है, it's going to be playing a very huge role, very important role, I can certainly assure you. So make sure you stay till the end. Hello Nimrat, hello Chaitanya, all the people who have joined the session, thank you so very much for your time, and I am sure that you are going to be gaining immensely from this session. So much you are going to be gaining from this session, I can assure you. So I hope that you all are very much ready for this session. Hanji Rajiv, I can certainly see that. Thank you so much, first of all, that you guys, come on time in every marathon, and you all are very much active in the marathons as well, which I can see. See, I'll tell you something very much important. Why are these marathon sessions so much important? What makes this marathon session so much special? I would like to first of all tell you this thing. These marathon sessions help you to get in touch with all the important topics in one go. That's very much important. Upasana, you welcome, and I am hopeful that everybody who is watching the session, you all are going to find it very much useful. All the people, so stay till the end and make sure you add this video, you add this session to your liked videos as well. So I'm just making sure that I am able to see all your comments clearly. So just making sure of that. Just will be starting in a moment. Yeah, now your comments are very clearly visible to me. Yeah, perfect. So I can see all your comments now nicely and perfectly. I know that, Chaitanya, and I'll make sure of this thing, that this time also you'll be getting direct questions in your exam. I'll tell you something, what my ideology is. I always make sure that I touch upon all the important topics and some peripheral topics also, and this way we are able to hit that particular, sweet point when we talk about the examination. Hanji, Sat Shri Akal ji, Parminder. So let me tell you this thing. On 14th of September, UPSC is conducting CDS examination. So basically, we are doing this initiative free of cost for the CDS aspirants. But if you are preparing for any PCS examination or even civil services examination, this session is going to be super useful for all the people out there. So please make sure that you are, taking advantage of that. So without further ado, I'll be starting that. You'll be getting the PDF. Don't worry about that. You will be getting the PDF. So do share it with your friends as well if you want to help them. Let's start with a very basic question. So this session is going to be bilingual because in CDS we have English and Hindi. So we are going to have bilingual session like that. Phobos and Deimos are the satellites of dash. Tell me, when we talk about Phobos and Deimos, these are two very important satellites. That's a question number one. So total we have to do 55 questions in total. Roughly 55 questions we have to do. So let's start with the question number one. Let's see how many of you can get it right. Tell me. Hanji Renu, welcome to the class. So this is an easy question, of course. This is a very easy question. So I am expecting everybody to answer that. It is Mangal Graha, that is Mars. So it has got two satellites only, two natural satellites. Like Earth has got one. Earth's natural satellite is what? Moon. But they have got Phobos and Deimos. So remember this thing. If we talk about Mercury and Venus, they haven't got any satellites, natural satellites. Earth has got one and Mars has got two satellites, that is Phobos and Deimos. So you have to be very much clear that when we talk about various planets, natural satellites are very much important, which we have to keep in our mind. So when I explain this thing, I want to tell you that like we have Moon for the Earth, similarly we have Phobos and Deimos for the Mars, and for Jupiter we have various satellites, but important ones are Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto. These are the important satellites of Jupiter. So you have to have a bare minimum idea. Chaitanya, I'll come to that also. And like Saturn, mein so many satellites are there, but important one is like Titan is important, Tethys is important, Mimas is important. So remember, they can ask you a question. Titan is the satellite of which of the following? So you should know it is Saturn. For Uranus, Miranda. You know, there's a college known as Miranda House also. So on the name of the Miranda. And Titania. Now I'll tell you, students get confused. Titan is the satellite of Saturn, but Titania is the satellite of Uranus. So you can see very minor difference. And of course, when we talk about Pluto, it's not even a planet now, but Charon is a satellite of Pluto. So just the important ones I have marked over here so that you can have a bare minimum idea. So please keep these, which I have highlighted. You have to keep it in your mind. Don't worry, they will be present in your PDF also. When I give you the PDF, it will be present there also. You don't need to worry. So ये सारा आपको PDF में मिल जाएगा. All right. Chali. Now let me tell you one thing. When we talk about the moons, the natural satellites as we call it, so Saturn, as we talk about, it has got massive, like I think 146 odd moons it has got. So the list basically keeps on changing, because when we talk about the Jupiter and the Saturn, we always see there is a kind of a competition which is going on. So this actually is a point we have to understand, but of course Saturn is the one which usually wins that. Got it, Chaitanya? Yeah, very good. Now, the second one is the distance between the Earth and the Moon is maximum when the Moon is on dash. Tell me. Now, these are the four very important, I would say, terms: aphelion, perigee, perihelion, apogee. So, I am sure you know about the elliptical orbits. This question is very much based on that only. So, let me see how many of you can get it right. Good job. Try to answer this very question. Good job. So a very basic question this is. This is a very, very basic question. Now I'll tell you something, people do get confused a lot in such questions. But when we are talking about the maximum distance, so in the maximum distance, we have to pick a wali thing, either it has to be aphelion or it has to be apogee. But aphelion is between Earth and Sun. Got it? So aphelion, perihelion, it's for Earth and Sun. And perigee and apogee is for Earth and Moon. Always remember this thing. So when we talk about the peri, it means very much close. And when we talk about the epi, it means very much far off. So D has to be the right answer. If the question was between Earth and the Sun, it would have been aphelion. You know this thing? So have a look at that. This one, this is what? This is aphelion. And this one is what? This is shortest, this is perihelion. Similarly, when we talk about the Earth and the Moon, this is apogee and this is perigee. So this shortest distance Earth and Moon is perigee, and the longest distance is basically apogee. This is the beauty of the elliptical orbits, as we know that. Very basic question this is. So please keep that in your minds. Very basic question this was. We'll have the statement questions also, but in the starting we have some basic questions. Okay, have a look at this one. We have got the pairs. You have to tell me which of the following is correctly matched. Pair 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to give the answer accordingly. Tell me. Good job. जी. What do you think is the right answer? Again, if you talk about this thing very much carefully, you just have to understand when we talk about the expanding universe hypothesis. So this is not associated with the Otto Schmitz and Carl Weisberg. It is associated with which of the following? Now, here is the trick to solve this question. Even if you don't know about 1, 2, 3, you just have to make sure that you know about this one. So you have to know that is Edwin Hubble. Expanding universe was given by Edwin Hubble, 1930s. It was very much famous, Hubble law. So this one is incorrect. So the moment you know this one is incorrect, this is gone. And of course, all these are absolutely correct. So we have to go with D as the right answer. So all the other theories are fine. You know, Kant is giving nebular hypothesis, and when we talk about the binary theory, it is by the Jeffrey and the John, and Chamberlain has got the Planck-Simmel theory. So of course, this is the right answer. You just have to eliminate the fourth one and you get 1, 2, 3 correct. Is that clear? Very easy. So you should understand the expanding universe hypothesis has been given by Edwin Hubble back in 1929. Let's move to the next one. So the next question, that is fourth question, now comes on your screens. It says, so we have got statements about asteroids. Okay, asteroids, we have got two statements. First statement says these are small piece of rocks which move around the sun. Next says they are found between the orbit of sun and earth. So you have got 4 options. You have to tell me which of the following is correct. Very interesting. So think about it. We are talking about the asteroids. So even if you have a basic idea about the asteroids, you will be in a position to answer this question very much precisely. So let me see how many of you can answer that. Perfect. So no doubt they are small pieces of rocks which are moving around the sun. Yes. But when I talk about their presence, they are not between sun and the earth. But where do we find them? We are basically finding them between Mars and Jupiter. Between Mars and Jupiter, we have got a proper asteroid belt over there. So that's why first statement is correct, but second statement is incorrect. Second statement is totally incorrect over here. This is what we need to understand. Got the point? So you can have a look. This is Earth, and here you can see Mars, and here you can see Jupiter. So this is the Mars orbit, this is Jupiter's orbit, and here this is the asteroid belt. Basically, the main asteroid belt is between Mars and Jupiter. Always remember this thing. Very important. So these questions can come. I have a question on Kuiper belt also. We'll talk about that. Kuiper belt, asteroid belt. These are very basic questions, but we have to be understanding this point very much precisely. So we have to have a bare minimum idea about these things. Okay. Moving ahead, now have a look at this question. Name of discontinuities this question is about. Gutenberg discontinuity, Rapiti, Moho and Lehman. You have to tell me which pair is correctly matched. Which of the given pair is matched correctly? That is the question we have. So tell me. So I always rely on one trick, that is, Chief Minister Rahul Gandhi went to London. C stands for Conrad discontinuity. M stands for Moho discontinuity. R stands for, of course, Rapiti. G stands for Gutenberg, and L stands for Lehman. Okay. These are the 5 discontinuities we are having. So please try to always, rely on this trick so that you don't have to cram this thing. Okay, you don't have to cram this particular thing. So when I talk about this particular one, that is C, Conrad. What is Conrad? It is dividing the crust. Okay. So crust basically is being divided between 2 parts, upper and lower. When I talk about the Moho, Moho is dividing crust and the mantle. Moho is between crust and mantle. Simple. Then I talk about the Rapiti. Rapiti is between upper and lower mantle. So mantle between upper and the lower is cut by the Rapiti. Then we talk about the Gutenberg, that is mantle and core are divided by that. And finally Lehman, the innermost, that is inner core and outer core. That is core is being divided by that. As simple as that. So if you know this trick, Chief Minister Rahul Gandhi went to London. That is the best way of decoding this point. Now let's have a look. If we talk about the Gutenberg, so Gutenberg, it is saying that it is between upper mental, lower mental. This is totally wrong. Why? Because upper mental, lower mental has to be Repeti, not the Gutenberg. If we talk about the Repeti, of course, it is not outer inner core because it has to be layman. When you talk about Moho, it is lower crust and the upper mental. Yes, this is absolutely correct. You can see. So this is correct. And between the lower mental and the outer core, it is layman. No, it has to be the Gutenberg. So again, this is incorrect. So I'm left with D as the right answer. D is the right answer to this question. So it is very much important to know the process which we are following to answer the question. Trust me, it is not just about answering the question. It is about how we are reaching to that process. That is very much important. So please make sure that you are following these things very much accurately. So D is the right answer. And you can have a look at their this. So you'll be getting it all in the PDF. Don't worry. I'll be providing you with the PDF as well. But trust me, these questions, make sure that in your brain you are able to think about this. In the brain you are able to think that how do we answer this, how do we answer that. That is of course very much important. Pretty clear? So I am hopeful that you are being helped by these particular questions. They are very much important. Okay, so moving ahead, let's now move to the next question. Very much important, that is. Again, a very basic question next is easiest of today's class. Which type of rock is also known as primary rock? Sedimentary rock, igneous rock, metamorphic rock, or fossiliferous rock? Tell me. Which is primary rock? So primary rock means what? Think about it. It is first rock to form. So basically, when I talk about first rock to be formed, that is the one. Now think about this. How the first rock is formed? By the solidification of magma. When the magma, which is inside the earth, or lava, which is outside the earth, it solidifies. Only then you have the rock formation happening for the first time. And when you will see weathering will happen, then sedimentary rock will form. Or under huge stress, this will form into metamorphic rock. So sedimentary and metamorphic, they are not the primary ones, but primary ones are igneous rocks. Always remember this thing. So when the lava is being solidified, we are seeing the formation of igneous rock happening. So always remember, they will be formed first, and under huge stress, they may either become metamorphic rock, or by the process of like weathering and layering and cementing, it can form into sedimentary rock also. It depends. But primary is igneous rock. Always remember this thing. Primary rock is igneous rock, and sedimentary and metamorphic are derived through geological processes. This is a very important concept we have to keep in our mind. So I hope you understand that. So you can just have a look at the rock cycle as well. For example, magma, it cooled down into igneous rock. Now igneous rock, if erosion is happening and everything is happening, it can become sedimentary rock. If under heat and pressure we put, it is becoming the metamorphic rock. So it's like that. Next question. Where is the Kuiper belt located in our solar system? Kuiper belt. Now it's different than the asteroid belt, of course. So tell me, where do we have the Kuiper belt in our solar system? Very important question. Kuiper belt. So let me tell you, it's a very icy region, very cold region it is. So it's quite far off from the sun also. It's a donut shaped region. It is also called the third zone of the solar system. It is basically beyond Neptune. So almost at the end of the solar system, we have the Kuiper belt, almost at the end of the solar system. So why it is so much important? Because it is considered to be the source of many comets. Okay? So many comets originate from the Kuiper belt. So that's why it's very much important. So C certainly is the right answer. Chalo, that's good that everybody is answering very much nicely. Yes, yes, Babul Chanda, Rupinder, Itachi, Upasna, Renu, Jaskir, Nimrat, Chaitanya, Manisha, Parminder, everybody, great job you guys are doing. Okay, now a different kind of question. Which of the following contains maximum percentage of water on the Earth's surface? Tell me. Maximum percentage of the water on the Earth's surface, where are you going to find? Very interesting. Think about it. So where are you going to find the maximum water? Good job. So let me tell you one thing. It's very easy question. Like almost 97.25% of the Earth's water almost, 97 to 97.5% of the Earth's water you are going to find in the oceans. So that is a massive, massive number. So you should never forget that. Very much important. In the oceans. So I hope it's clear. I'm not saying fresh water. I'm just saying water. Water on the Earth's surface. So if the question is about the fresh water, that's a different trajectory altogether. Got it? So if I ask you about the fresh water on Earth, so you have to understand that is going to be a different idea altogether. Okay, just imagine if the question is about maximum fresh water, what we have, consumable fresh water, where do we have that? Anybody who can tell me? Around 68 to 70% of the fresh water, where do we have? Good job. No, not the groundwater. So around 68% of fresh water which we have, where is it? It is stored in the ice, in the glaciers and the ice caps. So remember, in the glaciers and ice caps of the world, we have maximum fresh water which is stored. Remember, in the ice caps and the glaciers. And around 30% of the fresh water is in groundwater. Groundwater which we take out with the help of pump. So remember, this is a very important point. If the question is about overall water, no doubt it has to be oceans, but ocean is not fresh water. So if I talk about major reservoir of fresh water, that is glaciers and ice. And on the second, we have, of course, around 30% groundwater. So please read the question properly. So here, since the question is about just reservoir of maximum percentage of Earth's water, they have not mentioned about the fresh water. If they had mentioned about the fresh water, I would have said ice caps and glaciers. I hope you have got this idea very much clearly. Okay, ji? So please make sure that you read the question very much carefully. That is what is required. Shall we move to the next one? So let me load the next question for you. Okay, now the next one is quite easy. Which of the following is the second largest ocean in the world? So the largest one is Pacific, we all know that. Which is the second largest? Largest is Pacific. The second largest bit is the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic is the second largest after this one. So please be very much clear about that. Then of course we can say Indian Ocean, but second largest is the Atlantic. This is quite an important one. This is a factual question. You got the point, everyone? Perfect. So let's now move to the next question. Next question is a very important question that is about oceans. The topography which we have under the ocean, it is based on that. So I hope you are able to answer that as well. So good job everyone is doing. Babul, Jaskin, Manisha, Gibson, Upasna, Renu, Goldie, Parminder, Nimrat, and all the people who are participating in the session. Thank you so much. Okay, moving to the next one. You have to arrange them from coast towards a deep ocean. Remember, from the coast towards a deep ocean, you got to arrange them. Continental rise, abyssal plain, continental shelf, and continental slope. How will you do that? Think about it. Now, I'll tell you a very nice trick to do that. Always remember, abyssal plain are going to be on the last. Got it? Abyssal plain is the plane of the ocean. It is going to come at the last. So we all know that 2 is going to come on the last. Okay, in every option 2 is on the last. We have to start with the continental shelf, which will be followed by the continental slope. Please be very much clear about that. So continental shelf we have to have first, that is 3. Then we have 4, and of course we are going to have A as the right answer because continental rise will be happening here. So A is the right answer to this question. Very basic this is. So I hope now you are able to answer such questions. I'll also show you on the map, on the diagram how it looks like. Have a look at this. So this is a coastal plain, shoreline, the beaches and all. Here, first of all, we are having the continental shelf, as you can see that. And post continental shelf, what we are having, this slope is there. This is a slope, as you can see that. Clear? And then we'll have a continental rise that is there. And of course, here we are having the abyssal plain. So this, I hope, has made a very clear-cut picture in front of you. Is that clear to you guys? So please be very much clear in such questions that how the sequence has to be. We have the continental shelf followed by the slope, then we have the rise, then we have the plains. Easy. So such questions will be asked in the exam. So we have to be very careful in answering such questions. Got it? But ultimately, see, these are the major ones. So when we talk about this one, ye aap yaad rakhein that this is very important one. So actually this diagram was there and that's why I've given you. Is that clear? So in most of the diagrams you will see like this one. Babul, is that clear? Okay, moving ahead. So let's move to the next one. What exactly are gyots? If I talk about the gyots, which of the following explains the gyots nicely? A, B, C, D. Tell me. What is gyot all about? Yeah. Gyots. Now, I think when we talk about the gyots, you have to have a picture like this in your mind. Flats on the top there. This is a flat top. So the moment you have this thing, flat top submerged volcanic mountains, you should know that this has to be the right answer. It has nothing to do with the trenches. It's not steep sided. It's not circular in shape. So it is flat top submerged volcanic mountain. You can have a look at this. This is a gyot. Got it? So, and this basically is a seamount. So if you look at this flat topped, this one is basically gyot. Easy? Okay. Moving ahead, let's move to the next one. Which of the following best describe the atoll? Now that's the very important question we have. Best describing the atoll. Tell me. Good job. So here it is written 10, but it is a 12th or 13th question. So anyways, atoll. So remember, flat top mountain is gyot. So this can't be the right answer. But ring-shaped coral reef like this. So this is a coral reef, this is coral reef like this. So like Tuvalu is a country like that, So these are basically known as the atolls. I can show you the picture as well. So B is the right answer. This is basically how atoll looks like. So many atolls we have in the Indo-Pacific area as well. So remember, this is the perfect example of atoll. Easy. Got it? Okay. Now moving ahead, let's move to the next question. I hope now you're getting, a basic idea that how exactly are you supposed to be answering such questions. Moving to the next question. Arrange the following oceanic zones from surface to the deepest. Like in the ocean, vertically, if we see, we have various zones. So you have to tell me which one is on the top, then next, then the bottommost. So these are the 4 zones, as you can see. You have to arrange them accordingly. Do it. What exactly is the right answer? Okay. Always remember this thing, on the top, you will always have epi. Epi, as the word suggests, epi has to be on the top. So 2 is going to be on the top. Epipelagic zone is going to be on the top. So either it is A or it is B. We can eliminate C or D. And remember, epi will be followed by which one? Anybody? By meso. Epi. Then we have the next zone, which is the meso zone. So you have the 4th one. Then which comes next? Bathy. Which one is next? Abyss. And the last one which we have is Hedo. So I think according to that, you can easily pick A as the right answer. A is going to be the right answer to this question. So very important this question is, you have to remember about these zones. Very important question this is. Epipelagic zone on the top, when meso, bathy, abysso and Hedo. This is how the zones looks like. You can have a look. Is that clear? And in the benthic zone, we are not having the sunlight. So this is a very different kind of a zone. So I hope this idea is absolutely clear. Got it? Okay. Moving ahead, the next one says we have got two statements. You have to tell me which of the following is correct. Strait is a narrow strip of land joining two landmasses. Isthmus is a narrow passage of water connecting two large water bodies. Which of the following is correct? Is it only two, both, neither, or only one? Now read the options carefully and then answer. A, B, C, D, what is the right answer? What exactly is the right answer to this question? Good job. A very basic question this is. Should be able to answer this one. Okay, perfect. So you have to understand, strait is a narrow passage of water and isthmus is a narrow strip of land. So both are incorrect. So neither one nor two, hence C is the right answer. Both are totally incorrect. Both the statements given are totally incorrect. We have to keep that in our minds. I hope you understand that. So remember, in this question, what is more important is, like, have a look. This is isthmus. It's a narrow strip of land joining two landmasses. And this is a strait, Park Strait, basically narrow passage of the water connecting two large water bodies. So we have to be very much clear that strait is a narrow passage of water and isthmus is a narrow strip of land, as you can see. So this is how isthmus looks like. And this is basically strait. Sea, yeah, Ocean 1 and Ocean 2, it is basically connecting. You can have an example of Strait of Gibraltar also. This is Strait of Gibraltar connecting Mediterranean Sea with the Atlantic Ocean. All right, so this is very much important point we have to be keeping in our minds. Is that clear? Perfect. Moving ahead. Now, this is a very important question which has been asked in so many exams. The Bay of Biscay lies between which two countries? I hope everyone in this class should be in a position to know that where do we have Bay of Biscay. Bay of Biscay is a very historical bay also from World War I and II point of view also. This is very much important. So where do we have Bay of Biscay? Two main countries. France is there for sure, but it is not Italy. It is France and Spain. So A is certainly going to be the right answer to this question. Bay of Biscay is France and Spain. So have a look at this. This is Bay of Biscay. This is the coastline of the France. This is the coastline of Spain. And here we have the Bay of Biscay, as you all can see. This is Bay of Biscay, as you all can see. Anybody who can tell me which bay is here, where I have marked a cross? So I have put a cross over here. Can you tell me what exactly do we call this? Think about it. This bay, or as I would call it, Gulf. So this is known as Gulf of Lions. Gulf of Lions, we call it. Be very much clear about this. It opens into the Mediterranean Sea. So it also is basically on the coast of France. Here we have Bay of Biscay, here we have Gulf of Lions. So have a look at this. This is Gulf of Lions. Easy? Okay. So let's go to the next question. Next question is similar. Gulf of Bothnia is between which two countries? Gulf of Bothnia. Norway, Sweden, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, or Estonia and Finland. Such question we have seen in various examinations. So I think you should have a bare minimum idea about this thing as well. Where do we have Gulf of Bothnia? Tell me. So very important question this is. Gulf of Bothnia. So on one side we have Sweden, on one side we have Finland. So remember, Finland and Sweden, that is B, has to be the right answer to this question. Finland and Sweden. So have a look at this. This is Gulf of Bothnia. Here we have Sweden, here we have Finland. Similarly, Gulf of Finland, one side we have Finland, one side we have Estonia. So be very clear about these gulfs, they are important. Both the gulfs are very much important. Gulf of Finland is also important because of NATO. Gulf of Bosnia is also important because of Ukraine and Russia war. So we got to keep this thing in our minds, all of you. Clear, Aji? So please remember, Finland is very much common in both. Here also, Finland is common. On one side we have Sweden, one side we have Estonia. Keep this thing in your mind always. Got it? Okay. One more such question. Hudson Bay is located in which country? Is it USA, Canada, Greenland, or Russia? This was in a lot of news, that's why I'm asking that. Hudson Bay. Where do we have that? Where is the Hudson Bay present? That's the question. Hudson Bay. Now that's an easy one. It is present in Canada. You can see Hudson Bay. That's Canada. Here we are seeing that it is present. It's in Canada, we have the presence of Hudson Bay. Very easy. Okay. What does Kármán line represent? That's the next question. Kármán line is representing which of the following? That's around 16-17 question we have already done. Vaughan Kármán line. So let me tell you one thing, it is around at a height of 100 kilometers approx. And it is a boundary between Earth's atmosphere and the outer space, as we call it. So beyond Kármán line, we are saying that space is starting basically. So if somebody asks you that where is space, you will say that beyond Vaughan Kármán line, we have the starting of the space which is happening. Beyond Vaughan Kármán line, so it is around this point. This is basically the Vaughan Kármán line, as you can see. Beyond mesosphere, basically in the thermosphere, we have that. So 60 miles, so around usually we see 100 kilometer height, as we call it. So we have the Vaughan Kármán line. So space starts after the Vaughan Kármán line. This is important. So where does the space start? Beyond the Vaughan Kármán line, we have the starting of space as we look at. Easy? Okay. So I'm going at a rapid pace because these questions are very easy. Next question is a bit tough, I would say. Have a look at this one. So when we talk about arrange the following events as it took place during the evolution of Earth's atmosphere in a proper chronological order. We have 4 events: outpouring of the gases, stripping of the hydrogen helium by the solar winds, condensation of the water vapor, and modification of the atmosphere by a living world through photosynthesis. So tell me which happened the first. What was the first occurrence which happened? Very good. Which event is happening in the very beginning? Think about it. So remember this thing. There's an event which is known as loss of primordial atmosphere because of solar winds. So primordial atmosphere is lost. That is why we will say that this is happening at the first. So I'll put 2 on the front. So the moment I put 2 on the front, everything else falls into the place. So this is why it's a very easy question, because you eliminate and you get the right answer. Are you getting it? So you have to understand this thing, that the very first thing is that the solar winds are doing their thing and 4 is always coming on the last. So the stripping is going to happen and then we have the outpouring of the gas, of course, and we are going to see the third one will fall. So B has to be the right answer. I hope this idea is absolutely clear to you guys. Everyone, you got the point? Why I have picked this as the right answer? This is very much important question. You have to have a bare minimum idea about this thing as well. Got it? Chalo, perfect. So I'll just show you as well. That's how it looks like. So in the initial time, what happens? The loss of the primordial atmosphere due to solar wind. That's the first thing. And later on, degassing will also happen and the present atmosphere has become, but primordial atmosphere is lost due to solar wind. That's a very primary aspect. That's a very primary aspect we have to focus upon. And that is what is happening in the beginning of this process. So please be very much clear. Is that clear? Yeah. So if somebody asks you, how exactly the atmosphere has taken its shape, so you always have to be very much clear about this thing, that we are having solar winds, which has stripped away, plenty of the hydrogen and the helium, and that is how the process has basically started. So I hope this point is absolutely clear. Any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. Anybody who is not able to understand anything can surely let me know. Yeah. Clear? Sure. So moving to the next question now. Let me load the next question. Okay. The next question is very interesting once again. If we talk about the northern hemisphere, like this is the Earth, this is 0 degree equator, this is northern hemisphere, this is southern hemisphere. Okay. So tell me, in the northern hemisphere, the longest day of the year normally occur when? First half of the month of June, second half of the month of June, first half of the month of July, second half of the month of July. So that's a very fine question, I would say. And indirectly, I'm asking about the summer solstice. I'm asking a question on summer solstice. So during the summer solstice, that is around 21 June. Okay, at this time, we have winter in the southern hemisphere, summer in the northern hemisphere. So summer solstice will always fall in second half of the month of June. So around 21st June, if we talk about, that is the second half of June. 1 to 15, first half of June, 15 to 30, second half of June. So it is definitely this, which is the right answer. Very basic question this is. So please be very clear that B has to be the right answer to this question. Very basic point. Is that 100% clear to all of you? So I hope you are able to understand these points very much specifically. Got it? So summer solstice basically is also known as festival solstice or midsummer. It occurs when one of Earth's pole has its maximum tilt towards the sun. So it happens twice yearly and it is happening once in each hemisphere. So please be very clear about this thing. So this is how we look at it. That's the summer solstice. Moving ahead. Okay. 19th question. Consider the following statements about the solar system. The sun, the moon, and those objects shining in the sky are called celestial bodies. All planets have their own natural satellites. So you have to tell me which of the following is correct. Two statements we have. Which statement is correct? You have to tell me. Very good. Think about this. So trust me, this is a very basic question. We have to have a basic idea about this thing very much precisely. Okay. So we all know that not all planets have the satellites, like Mercury, Venus don't have that. So this is incorrect. First one is correct. So that's why A has to be the right answer. The sun, the moon, and those objects shining, they are called celestial bodies. A is definitely the correct answer. Okay. The longitude which is taken as the prime meridian is dash. Now this is a very basic question, but we have to know that. Okay. What is around 180-degree longitude? It is international date line, IDL. And if we talk about Greenwich, prime meridian, so which of the following is that? It is of course 0-degree longitude. So A is the right answer to this question. It is 0-degree longitude. So always remember that around 180-degree longitude, we have the ideal, that is international date line, and 0-degree is the Greenwich meridian, which is known as the prime meridian. Also, this point has to be very much clear. So these are two major prominent longitudes which we have on the planet. This is why we need to understand that. These are the major longitudes which we are having on the planet Earth. Very important this is. Got the point? Okay. Moving ahead, we have a theory called Big Splat theory. It is associated with which of the following? Origin of the universe, formation of the black holes, origin of the moon, or collision of the galaxies. Big Splat theory. It's not a new theory, it's a very old theory, but it's a very important theory. Big Splat theory. It is also called giant impact theory or giant impact hypothesis. It proposed that what exactly was formed when a body collided with the early Earth and the debris from its impact eventually formed that particular thing. So tell me about it. Good job. It is about origin of moon. Very important theory. Trust me on that. Very, very important question this is. Big splat theory is associated with the formation of moon. It explains the formation of the moon. So that's why big splat theory is important. So please make sure you add it in your notes. This can be a question in your exam as well. Big splat theory, as we call it. Easy. So it's called giant impact hypothesis as well. So moon was formed when a Mars-sized body called Theia, it collided with the early Earth. So Theia and the early Earth collided, and the debris or the malwa from that impact formed the moon, as we can look at. Very important resource. I hope this point is 100% clear now. Shouldn't be having any doubts regarding this particular point. Okay. So let's move to the next one. The next question now is a bit tricky, but I'm sure you will be able to answer that. Have a look at this. Igneous intrusions. So igneous intrusions, when we talk about, magma solidifies inside the earth, we have some igneous intrusions formed inside the earth. So we have laccolith, lopolith, phacolith. So we have the shape explained. You have to tell me which of the following is correctly matched. Tell me about it. Good job. Now this is not a difficult question if you have read this properly. If you have something like this formed, remember, something in the form of a dome which is formed. So if dome shaped is there, it always will be known as laccolith. Please keep that in your mind. Make this in your copy so that you never forget that. Laccolith is dome shaped. Okay? So laccolith is dome shaped. So this is incorrect. And if I talk about something like synclines, antisynclines, like this, lens shaped. Lens shaped is basically the phacolith. Okay. So remember this, lens shaped is phacolith. So it is like that. So 1 and 3 are incorrect. Yeah, lopolith is saucer shaped. So saucer shaped like this. So lopolith is like this, like, massive like this, supplying magma from here. So these are the lopolith. So saucer shaped is lopolith. So B is the right answer. So trust me, these igneous intrusions are difficult to master, but once you master, it will be 100% clear. So in GC Leong book, it is given very nicely. So please keep that in mind. Laccolith is dome shaped, phacolith is lens shaped, and lopolith is saucer shaped. So I'll just show you over here. Have a look at this. This is laccolith. This is lopolith, saucer shaped. And of course, if we talk about like this, these are the phacolith, these are lens shaped. So lopolith, phacolith, and laccolith. So the names are confusing, but I think it's absolutely fine. So this is lopolith. This is phacolith, and this is lacco. Is that clear? So laccolith, phacolith, and we have the lopolith. Okay, I hope this gives you some clarity on this point. Okay. Moving ahead, let's move to the next one. Next question says, that's a question number 23 now. Japan is situated to the 4 tectonic plates. Which of the following are the, 2 of them? Philippines and Fuji plate, Cocos and Eurasian plate, North American and Philippines plate, or North American and the Caroline plate? That's the question. So total 4 plates are there. You have to name any 2. Which of the following do we have? Good job. So of course, we have Eurasian plate also. Got it? And which plate we have? We have Pacific plate also. And other than that, what 2 plates do we have? North American and Philippines. Very good. So these are the 4 plates which we have. North American, Philippines, Eurasian, and Pacific plate. So that's why, because it is at the juncture of 4 plates, you are seeing so many tsunamis and earthquakes happening in Japan. So you got to understand C is the right answer. C is the right answer. So I'll just show you here also. Have a look at this. Okay. So here roughly we have the Japan. So here you can see Pacific plate also, Eurasian plate also on the top, North American plate, and here Philippines plate. So you can see these 4 plates are there at the juncture, and we have the Japan unfortunately situated here because it causes a lot of stress lot of earthquakes in this particular area. So if I zoom that a bit, you can have a look. This is North American plate. This is Pacific plate. Here we have the Eurasian plate, and here with the Philippines plate. So you can have a look at this area. Is the point clear, everyone? So very seismically active zone this is, as you all know. Next question says, again a question like that. So it's a question on tectonic plates. Tell me, these are the minor tectonic plates: Cocos, Nazca and Arabian. So match the following. Tell me, where do we have these plates situated? Cocos is what? Central American Pacific. Got it? So when we talk about Central America and Pacific, this Cocos plate, I'll just show you over here as well. Have a look. Can you see this? This is Cocos plate. Have a look at this. Central America and Pacific plate. So here we are having Cocos plate situated, which is absolutely correct. And where do we have Nazca? Just come a bit on the southern side. We have South America and Pacific plate. So have a look. So Cocos, Nazca, they are here, and Arabian plate is here. So you can see all of them are correctly matched. 1A, 2B, 3C. So D has to be the right answer. They are all correctly matched. They are all correctly matched in this particular question. That's how we look at it. Easy. So you have to have a bare minimum idea that how do we answer such questions, because such questions are tricky. No doubt about that. Got it. Okay. So let's now move to the next one. Next question is on grasslands. Okay. So we have pustas, we have wells, we have pampas, we have prairies. You have to tell me how many pairs are correctly matched. Such kind of questions are also asked. So you tell me how many pairs are correctly matched. So all are basically the temperate grasslands, as we call them. Okay. So pustas are in Hungary, that is right. Wells are not in New Zealand. Where do we have wells? Wells are there in South Africa. So this pair is incorrect. Pampas can be called in Argentina, yes, but prairies, they are not in Brazil, they are in USA or North America. So again, 2 and 4 is incorrect. So basically I would say that only 2 pairs are correctly matched, 2 pairs are incorrectly matched. Remember? So pustas in Hungary, that is fine. Wells in New Zealand is incorrect because they are in South Africa. Pampas in Argentina is fine, but prairies in Brazil is not correct because they are in North America, that is USA. So that is how we look at it. I'll just show you the grasslands of the world. Very important this is. Firstly, I will talk about the temperate grasslands. Like you can see prairies in the North America, steppes in the Central Asia, pustas in Hungary, Manchuria grassland, you can say, China and Mongolia border. And if I talk about downs, where are we? Downs in Australia, Canterbury grasslands in New Zealand, wells in South Africa, and pampas are there in Argentina. Please be very specific about them. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 temperate grasslands you have to remember for examination purpose. I am repeating that. Please come with me. Prairies in North America, pampas basically in Argentina, as you can see, steppes in Central Asia, pustas in Hungary, Manchurian grasslands basically in China, downs in Australia, and wells which are there in South Africa, and Canterbury plains in New Zealand. I hope you can see that very clearly. So this is the best diagram which you can get for this particular topic. If we talk about savannas or tropical grasslands, so tropical grasslands are like what? Llanos you can see in the South America we have, and savanna in Africa of course we have. So these are the major ones. And we talk about llanos, we talk about campos. So campos, llanos, basically we talk about, they are in South America, and savanna in Africa. But mainly important is temperate grasslands. These are the temperate grasslands. Please be very clear about that. So name of the temperate grassland should be on your tips. This can be in any question, and you shouldn't get confused when the question is done. All right. Okay, Pratyush. Chalo, I'm glad. Thank you so much. I'm fine, Pratyush. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing fine as well. Chale. So let's start. And make sure you spread the word amongst your friends as well, so that they can also benefit from this particular session. Always, I'll tell you something. These are the kind of the sessions which always are going to help you in improving further in your examination pursuit. Which of the following ocean is not a cold ocean current? Is it Canary? Is it California? Is it Kuroshio? Is it Oyashio? Tell me. Question number 26, we are halfway through already. Almost half of the questions are done. More, this much we have to do. Thank you, Ankur Panta. Thank you so much. Hanji. So this is quite an easy one. Since Kuroshio is a warm ocean current, so that's why this has to be the right answer. This is very easy. You can see Kuroshio is a warm ocean current and Oyashio is a cold ocean current. So this is what we need to answer. So you have to have idea about various cold ocean currents. Now what all are the cold ocean currents we have? California is cold, Labrador is cold, Canary is cold, Benguela is cold, Peru or Humboldt is cold, West Australia is cold, Oyashio is cold. Okay. Here we also have a Falkland current which is cold. And if I talk about the warm ocean currents, we have Alaska which is warm, Gulf Stream is of course warm, Brazil is a warm ocean current, Mozambique, Agualas, they are warm, East Australia is warm, Kuroshio is warm. So you have to have a bare minimum idea about which one is warm and which one is cold. Such questions I have seen so many times in the examination being asked. So we can't really take any chance in this regards. We have to have a good deal of idea on these kind of questions. All right. Very important these days. Okay. Consider the following statement about some soils. So here we have a question on the soils as well. Black soils are self-flowing. Alluvial soils are generally poor in potash but rich in phosphorus. So tell me which of the following is correct. Now this is a very, I would say, interesting question on soils by chance we have. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Yep. So alluvial soil are covering almost 40% of this area. Alluvial soils, these soils basically, they are rich in potash but poor in phosphorus. Always remember, they are rich in potash but they are poor in phosphorus. So this is what we need to understand. This is incorrect, but yeah, black soil, that is which we call Regur soil, also found widely in Maharashtra. They are self-flowing because when they are dry, they develop cracks. That's why they are self-flowing. So they retain a lot of moisture as well. So of course, first is the correct one. A has to be the right answer. Remember. So it was a trick question basically. The second statement is basically a trick statement we have to understand. So A is the right answer. Very, very important point this is. So let me announce this thing. Tomorrow you're going to be having a modern history session. So Sher sir will be taking modern history session, and those who are preparing for any defense examination, they can download the app Defence Pariksha, and they can also join the Defence Pariksha Telegram channel in order to boost your overall preparation. So the link is there in the comment section which is pinned. Next question, 28th question basically. In reality, it is 29 or 30 question. Numbering is a bit off. Anyway, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere. So which of the following is not correctly matched? That's the question. Which of the following is not correctly matched? That's the question. Okay. If we talk about the hailstorm, hailstorm has to be in the troposphere, not in the stratosphere. This is incorrect. Mesosphere mein meteors are burnt. This is correct. Thermosphere, when we talk about the radio transmission, that is fine. But the question is about not correctly matched. So the first one is not correctly matched and the second and third are absolutely fine. Am I right? Ionosphere is also in the thermosphere only. So now let me tell you one thing very much carefully. Some people will argue that it has to be C. Why? Because of the thermosphere. But let me tell you one thing. Thermosphere and ionosphere I am considering one only for this question. So that's why it has to be A, which is the right answer. Why? Because we have to pick the incorrectly matched one. Hai? So it has to be A, not C. Why? I have told you the reason. Because ionosphere has to be there in the thermosphere only. So that's why we have to pick this as the right answer. Okay, ji. I hope this point is 100% clear to you guys. You shouldn't be having any doubt. Moving ahead. Next one is quite easy. Question number 29 or 30. It says, which of the following rock we find the stratification or layering like this? So the layering and the presence of the fossils is found in which of the following rock? It is the sedimentary rocks where we find that. So B is the right. Now this is again very easy question, but in exam you will have easy to difficult question, all kinds of the question you will have. So please be prepared for easy questions as well. Got it? Okay. Moving to the next one. Question number 30. Here we have straits like Strait of Hormuz, Bab al-Mandeb, Bosphorus Strait. So you got to pick the countries where they are. So Strait of Hormuz, I'm sure everybody knows that, Iran and UAE, basically Oman is also there. So yeah, this can be considered as correct. But Bab al-Mandeb is not Syria and Turkey, not at all. Okay, Djibouti, Yemen, we can say it is there. And Bosphorus is not Saudi Arabia and Sudan, it is basically Turkey, Istanbul to be precise. So here I would say which is correctly matched. So only one is correctly matched. So A has to be the right answer. Now this is a very basic question. If you're aware of these states which are in a lot of news every day because of the geopolitical crisis which are going on, you should be in a position to answer that specifically. Very important this is. All right. So I'm hopeful that you are now in a position to have a decent level of clarity on these points. Okay. Moving ahead, let's move to the next one. Next question says, which of the following is incorrect? Which statement is incorrect? Jovian planets have larger size and the lower densities compared to the terrestrial planets. These planets formed at greater distance from the sun where less intense solar winds allowed for retention of gases. So now you have to tell me which of the following statement is incorrect. Read and then answer accordingly. Question number 31 for the day. Very interesting question this is. So tell me what exactly is the correct one. Okay, so remember that Jovian planets, no doubt, they are the larger in size and lower in density. This is correct. And they formed a greater distance, this is correct as well. But my answer is going to be D. Why? My answer is D because it is saying which is incorrect. I would say nothing is incorrect because everything is correct. So answer cannot be C, answer has to be D. Are you getting it? Because it is asking for the incorrect statement. And that is why we have to pick D because both are correct. So since both are correct, that's why we have to pick the statement D. Very important this is. I hope the idea is absolutely clear. So trust me, these are the kind of the questions which are a bit difficult, but we have to understand accordingly. Got it? Okay, moving ahead. Question number 32, let's pick. Now that is an easy question. Which layer forms the most volume of the earth? In fact, I would say maximum volume and even maximum mass of the earth is located there. So around 67% of mass of the earth, and not only that, around 84% of the volume is located where? Is carried by the mantle. So remember this thing. So mantle is very important layer of the earth, having around 84% of the earth volume and 67% of the earth mass by a single layer, that is mantle. So below the crust we have the mantle. Very important this is. Mantle. So I hope this idea is clear. So B has to be the right answer. Very important this is. Alright, so this was question number 32. So now moving to the question number 33. Ready? Okay. So next question says, consider the following statement about the interior of the earth. The continental crust is primarily composed of silica and magnesium. The upper portion of the mantle is called asthenosphere. The core forms the most of the volume of the earth. Now this should not be a difficult question for you. We all know that it's not the core but it's the mantle. So this one is incorrect. I'm eliminating the third one. But the question is about incorrect. Okay. So since the question is about the incorrect, we certainly can't eliminate these. But what we can eliminate is C and D because there we don't have 3. So 3 has to be there because 3 is incorrect and it is asking about the incorrect statement. Now, the continental crust is made up of Sial, not the Sima. So I hope you know the difference between Sial and Sima. That actually is a very important, concept when we talk about this one. So remember, when we talk about continental and oceanic crust, we have to understand the Sial and Sima concept. Very important this thing. So continental mass is basically the Sial, and if we talk about the oceanic, it is Sima. So since continental we are talking about, it is not Sima, it is Sial, silica and aluminum. So 1 is incorrect, and yeah, second is correct. So 1 and 3 are incorrect ones. So that's why I'll pick B as the right answer. Why? Because it is asking for incorrect statements. I hope this idea is absolutely clear. So B is the right answer. Is that clear? So remember that if somebody talk about oceanic, it has to be Sima. And if somebody talk about the continental, it has to be Sial. So what is Sial? Sial means silica and aluminum. And oceanic is Sima. That is silica and magnesium. So heavier. So that's why it is heavier. So very much important this is. Any doubt you have, you can surely let me know. Because these concepts will be very much handy. Remember. So I would like to tell you here that oceanic crust is denser and heavier than the continental crust. Always remember this thing. So this point I hope is absolutely clear. Yep. Any doubt? If I ask you which is thicker, so tell me which one is thick, more thick, yeah, thicker. So remember, it is the continental crust which is thicker. Okay, so it is thicker than the oceanic one. That's one concept. But if I talk about the weight or the density or the heaviness, so oceanic crust is heavier as compared to the continental crust. So remember, these basic points have to be very much clear. These are some of the basic points which we have to be keeping in our minds. Okay, Nupur, don't worry about that. These questions are going to help you there as well. But we are going to have at least 20 more questions. Everybody clear that? Nupur, is the idea clear to you guys? Okay. So heavier, denser is oceanic, thicker is continental, and now you know about the Sial and Sima as well. So if we talk about the continental, that is Sial, and oceanic is basically Sima. Perfect. Moving to the question number 34th. With reference to the plate tectonics, which of the following statements are correct? Okay. Subduction zones at the convergent boundaries result in the formation of ocean trenches and volcanic mountains. Transform boundaries are responsible for the formation of mid-oceanic ridges. Tell me about this as well. Very good, Renu, Manisha, Upasna, Nimrat, Rakesh, Nupur. All of you, keep up the Josh. And I can assure you that you are going to learn immensely. So within 1 minute and 15, 1 hour and 15 minutes, we have done so many questions, you can see. So remember, when we talk mid-oceanic ridges, they are formed how? This is basically divergent boundary. Divergent boundary. So one is moving like this, one is moving like this. So you are seeing the eruption happening. Here we are having the mid-oceanic ridges, not because of the transform boundary, but because of the divergent boundary. But yeah, subduction zone is clear. One plate is coming like this. So here we are seeing subduction happening, and here we are seeing a lot of volcanic activity as well. But mainly you are seeing the trenches being formed over here. So yeah, first one is correct. So that's why A has to be the right answer. A is the correct answer to this question. Very important this is. So always remember, mid-oceanic ridges are formed because of the divergence. That's important. Question number 35. Now we talk about. So you can see we are going at a very rapid pace. 35 questions we have already done. That's a question number 35 as we are looking at. Okay, so tell me about the geomorphic agents and the landform which is formed. Doline, pediments, point bars, or cirque. So some landforms are very prominent ones. For example, cirque, it has to be the glacial one. So C4. So even if you know about the cirque, you are getting the right answer. But anyways, we talk about some other as well. For example, running water, if we talk about. Running water is forming the point bars. If we talk about the groundwater, So they are leading to the dolines, and if I basically talk about the vents, that is pediments. So of course, B is the right answer. Got it? So I'll just show you some of them. For example, have a look at this. Can you see this? This area is known as cirque. This curve basically in the glacial topography is known as cirque. This is basically doline when I talk about the limestone topography or the karst topography. And here you can see the point bars as well. See, this is the point bar, so here we are having a point bar basically formed when the river is taking a turn. That's how we see the formation of oxbow lakes as well. So I hope that is clear. The point is clear. So that was question number 35 done. So question number 36 now we are going to do. Question number 36 now. Tell me. So here we have marble, sandstone, coal, granite. How do you match the following? Now this is again an easy one. Question number 36 it is. Everybody knows that limestone put under extreme pressure and the stress is going to form the marble. So marble has to be metamorphic rock. So since marble is a metamorphic rock, that is A4. Even if you know A4, that's why you're getting the right answer. As simple as that. Because sandstone is what? It is sedimentary rock. Coal is basically fossil fuel, though it is also found in sedimentary rock only. And granite is basically igneous rock. So A has to be the right answer. It's a very easy question. But you have to know various type of rocks. It can be very much important from the examination point of view. So you have to have a basic idea about this thing. Everybody has to have a good mastery over various type of rocks. That is going to be important. All of you. So let me just show you, for example, if we talk about igneous rocks. So which igneous rocks you have to remember? For example, pumice is important, basalt is important, granite is important, gabbro is important, diorite is also important. So just remember these are the igneous rocks: pumice, basalt, granite, gabbro and diorite. So these 5 are very important igneous rock. You should remember that these are the igneous rocks. If you talk about the metamorphic rocks, here also gneiss is important, anthracite, marble is important, quartzite is important, phyllite is important, slate is important and schist is important. So remember that these are metamorphic rocks. And in sedimentary rocks, of course, we have, chert, chalk, like conglomerate is important. Limestone has been asked in exam, siltstone, dolomite, shale, sandstone. So you have to have a bare minimum idea, gypsum, that these are the sedimentary rocks. So please make sure you add it in your notes and you revise it regularly so that you know that which rock is which type of rock. 37th question, it says, Sargasso Sea is found in the center of which of the following? Is it Pacific Ocean, Atlantic, Indian, or none of the above? Tell me. So you have got 4 options only. There is no option of not attempted. So tell me which is the correct one. 37th question it is. It's a gyre. We have the Gulf Stream, Canary Current, North Equatorial Current, it's proper gyre. So it's a gyre present where? In the North Atlantic Ocean. So answer is B, Atlantic Ocean. To be precise, North Atlantic Ocean. To be very precise, it is North Atlantic Ocean where you're going to be finding that. So yeah, you got to understand that as well. North Atlantic Ocean. Got it? So have a look at this. Sargasso Sea, Gulf Stream, Canary Current, North Equatorial Current, Antinales is there as well. So this is Sargasso Sea. It gets its name from an algae known as sargassum. So sargassum is collected over here and this is very much important. So here we have Sargasso Sea, North Atlantic Ocean to be precise. Is that clear, everyone? So I hope that you are getting a proper idea from these questions that how do we answer these ones. Question number 38 now. Which is the following statement about Earth's interior is incorrect? Okay. The oceanic crust is thinner than the continental crust. The crust and the uppermost part is known as lithosphere. The outer core is in liquid state while the inner core is in solid state. The core is composed of very dense rocks, that is olivines. So which of the following is incorrect? Tell me. So we just talked about this thing, that oceanic crust is thinner than the continental crust. This is absolutely true. Continental crust is thick, oceanic crust is thin. crust and the uppermost part of the mantle is lithosphere. Yes, this is absolutely correct. Outer core is liquid. Yes, this is also correct. But core is composed of not olivine but knife, nickel and ferrous. Knife it is. Olivine, if you ask me, olivine you're bound to find not in the core but in the mantle. Okay. So olivine you're going to be finding in the mantle. So that's why D is the right answer. Why? Because incorrect it has asked. So D is totally incorrect question. Incorrect statement basically. So you have to pick this as the right answer. Is that clear? So nickel means Ni and Fe is ferrous. So when you talk about the core, there you are going to not find this olivine, but you're going to be finding the knife. Remember this thing. So olivine is found in the earth's mantle. So when we talk about the mantle, here we find this olivine. So basically, it is dominant mineral in the rocks like peridolite, and it is less common on the surface basically. So remember this very much clearly. So olivine you will be finding in the mantle. Please remember that. Question number 39. Halocline refer to which of the following change? Tell me. Halocline. So in terms of seas or the oceans, what is halocline all about? Very good. So if we talk about the thermocline that is related to temperature. So if we have a ocean water and here this is the increasing temperature. So how it works? It works like this. This basically is the thermocline. If we talk about the density part, if we talk about density, the rapid change in density, that is pycnocline. So it will work like this. And if we talk about the salt or salinity, that basically is the halo or halocline. So how it looks like, it again is something like this. So this is what the halocline looks like, and it is about the salinity. So halocline refers to significant change in the density in the vertical column. This is what we need to understand. Please be very clear. So thermocline related to temperature, density related to pycnocline, and salinity related to halocline. You can see how it is basically changing. So this portion of rapid decline in the salinity is known as the halocline. So I hope that's absolutely clear. Got it? So moving to the next question, that is question number 40. Let's move ahead. Arrange the following salt in the descending order of the proportion in the ocean salinity. So highest, then highest to lowest we have to. So I think everybody knows about the table salt. So if we talk about the table salt, that is NaCl. That is sodium chloride. So we all know that sodium chloride has to be on the top. Sodium chloride has to be on the top. We know that. So if the sodium chloride is on the top, that it has to be either A or C, because here we can eliminate that. Sodium chloride is followed by which of the following? Magnesium chloride, MgCl. So magnesium chloride has to be on the second. So 2, and then we have 4. So of course it has to be A. Why? Because sodium chloride, then we have magnesium chloride, then of course we have magnesium sulfate and calcium sulfate. So A has to be the right answer. If you see that clearly, we have sodium chloride, that is around 77%, magnesium chloride, that is around 10%. So you can see if we join both, it is around 90%. Okay, then we have magnesium sulfate, calcium sulfate, potassium sulfate, carbonate and all. So you can have a look at this thing. So sodium chloride and magnesium chloride are on the top of the two, as it's very much clear. It's a question of the common sense also. Okay, question number 41 says, arrange the following ions in the descending order of their presence in the ocean salt. Magnesium chloride, sodium and sulfate. Tell me. So how do you look at it? Ions we are talking about. So the maximum one is of course chloride, because sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, so chloride has to be there. So chloride is on the top. And after chloride, what will we have? We have the sodium one. So we'll have 3, that is sodium. So of course here we get A again as the right answer. Why? Because if you see that we have chloride, then we have sodium, then we have of course sulfate, magnesium and all that. So please remember the top 3. Even if you remember the top 3, you are absolutely good to go. It's as simple as that. Very basic. The top three you're going to be remembering. Moving to the next one. Question number 42. Arrange the following in the decreasing order of their weight in the Earth's crust. When we talk about the Earth crust, which one is their maximum, and then we have to arrange that in an order. So aluminium, oxygen, iron and silicon. How do you arrange that? Tell me. Which one is around 46 to 47%? The maximum, what exactly do we have? Very important question this is. Good job. So it is of course oxygen or the oxides we have on the top. That's quite an important thing. This is followed by the silica. So it has to be 2, then it's 4. Then we'll have aluminium, then we have iron. So of course A has to be the right answer. Now that is a very important point. Is that clear? So when we talk about this particular point, you got to understand that we have oxygen in the form of oxides we have, then we have silicates, then we have aluminium, and then we have iron, then we have calcium, sodium and potassium. So A has to be the right answer. Very much important. So please keep this in your mind, because any metal or any mineral you extract, that you will find in the form of oxides, ferrous oxide or different oxides you find. So that's why this is something you always have to be very much clear about, and that is why I have asked this question in the first place. Got the point? I hope this is absolutely clear to you guys. Okay, perfect. Next question says, which is the second most abundant metal in the earth crust? I'm talking of the metal. Is it zinc? Is it iron? Is it aluminium? Is it copper? I think just in the previous question I told you, if we talk about the most abundant, no doubt aluminium is the maximum one. But the question asks for the second most abundant. So since second most abundant we have to find, we are going to pick the iron. So here B is going to be the right answer. Why? Because we are not being asked about the maximum, the second maximum, that is the iron. Got it? So after oxygen, silica, we have the aluminium, then iron. So that's why iron is the second most abundant. And the most abundant is aluminium, as we find in the form of bauxite most of the time. In India also we have a lot of bauxite. Bauxite is the ore of aluminium. So these ores are also very much important. These ores are also very much important. This reminds me of a very classic question which is asked in so many examinations. I want to ask you, when we talk about a ore, just tell me this thing. That's a very nice question. My question is, please be very honest, don't search internet. Calamine is ore of dash. I'll give you 4 options. Calamine is ore of dash. Magnesium, potassium, zinc, sodium. Tell me, calamine is basically a very interesting ore of which of the following? Tell me. Options I've given you. Potassium, magnesium, sodium, zinc. So think about it. Calamine. So calamine is ore of zinc. This is a very important point. Please understand. Calamine is ore of zinc. Add it in your notes. These can be, asked in your exam as well. So you should have a proper idea. Okay. One more question like that. Just, then we'll move to the next question. Malachite is an ore of dash. Tell me. Malachite is ore of dash. Malachite. Now these are favorite questions of examiners. Calamine, malachite. So malachite is basically copper carbonate hydroxide mineral. CuCO3OH, 2. It's a very, very popular ore of copper. Cu. That is copper. So please prepare these ores. In the next marathon, I'll bring these questions also. So this is a very important one. Calamine is ore of zinc, malachite is ore of copper, and so many other ores we have. So I'll be bringing more questions on that in the next marathon. I hope that helps. See, iron ores everybody knows, hematite, magnetite, everybody knows. But unfortunately, people don't know about the calamine, people don't know about the malachite. So that's why I'm telling you these things. Got it? So it's not very much common. That's why examiner will always ask. Okay, moving to the next one. 44th question says, consider the following related to the seismic or earthquake waves. Got it? So my question is that P waves are longitudinal waves. The P waves travel faster and the first to arrive on the surface. The P waves travel through the liquid and gaseous medium only. So choose the incorrect statement. Tell me, which of the following is incorrect? That is the question. So now you know about the longitudinal and transverse waves, everybody? Like these waves. This is what? These are the transverse. Got it? So transverse waves are basically S wave is transverse and P wave is longitudinal. This is absolutely correct. P wave travel faster and the first to arrive. This is also correct. P wave travel through liquid gas medium only. No. Through all mediums it can travel. So this is one thing we have to understand. So this is incorrect. So that's why I'll say A is the right answer. Why? Because 1, 2 are correct, but this is incorrect and the question is about incorrect. So A is the right answer. And what is the question? That is about the incorrect. So remember that if we talk about the P waves, they are longitudinal waves and the S waves are the transverse waves. You have to understand. Let me show you here. This is very much important explanation which I am going to give you. Remember, this is how S wave function. That is the transverse waves, and longitudinal waves are basically the P waves, like sound waves like we talk about. So remember, P waves, also the primary waves or compressional waves, they are longitudinal waves, and S waves are basically the transverse waves. This is actually very much important. So no doubt that P waves are very much fast. They'll be the first to be seen, and these are both body waves. They are the body waves, and they come in the contact with the surface and they provide the surface waves which are known as love waves and the Rayleigh waves. Very destructive waves they are. So we have to understand that point as well. All good? Clear? So P waves can travel through all the mediums. This is also a point we need to understand. Okay, moving ahead. Next question says, mushroom rocks are basically formed because of the action of which of the following? Water, wind, glacier, waves. Mushroom waves. Basically, this is a question on the landforms. So let's see how many of you can give the right answer. Think about it. Which of the following is the correct answer? Now that's a single liner question, very much easy this is. So should be able to answer this one. Perfect. So by the action of the wind. So they are what kind of landforms? Aeolian landform. So all the wind-based landforms are known as aeolian landforms. You know that. Aeolian landforms these are. Hanji, Jai Hind, Thor. So this is how mushroom waves look. So usually in the deserts you will find these kind of rocks. That is a mushroom rock. Okay. Now the next one. Cirque found in mountain regions are formed by which of the following process? Is it wind erosion, glacier erosion, water erosion, or volcanic activity? Cirques. So tell me, what exactly is going to be the right answer? I think we already have done this particular question. Similar to this, it is because of the glacial erosions. Glacial erosions. So that's why B has to be the right answer. When we talk about the glaciers, so B has to be right answer. This is very basic question we have to understand. So glacier erosion is certainly the main point we need to be understanding. All right. So when we talk about this cirque, I'll give you this image. Have a look at this. So this area, basically, this is how it looks like. Cirque. And here the lake which is formed, this is known as Tarn Lake. So if somebody asks you where is Tarn Lake, you will say it's a glacier topography only. Tarn Lake is basically found there only. So you can see this is Tarn Lake and this is basically Cirque. And here this edge is known as Erite. This is the horn. So you have to have a bare minimum idea about these things. Hanging valleys usually are also a glacial topography feature. Hanging valley is also a feature of glacial topography. Clear? Okay. Moving ahead, the question number 48. Just few more questions to go. Which of the following are erosional coastal landforms? Formed because of the erosion. Capes, bay, cliff. Which of the following? They're all coastal landforms, but which is formed because of the erosion. Capes, bays, and cliff. Tell me. Thor, absolutely. Let me see how many of you can get it right. So do hit the like button as well, whoever has joined it, to add it in your liked videos, all of you. And you can go on the Defence Pariksha, you will get the PDF there as well. You can join the Telegram channel, which is there in the link description. Okay, so let me tell you that all of them are, so D is the right answer. Capes, bays, and cliffs. So if I talk about the cliffs, this is how it looks like. Have a look at this. So this is cliff. Cliff is formed because of the erosion. Even the bay is formed because of the erosion. And even if I talk about this cape, like the Cape of the Good Hope, you can see this particular thing is formed because of the erosion only. This is the cape. Are you getting that, Chaitanya? You got the point. So remember that all of them are formed because of the erosion. This cliff is formed because of the erosion. This bay is formed because of the erosion. And this cliff is also formed because of the erosion through the wind, not the winds, the coastal, the waves basically, wave-based topography it is. Okay, one similar question like that. Question number 49 we have, which of the following are depositional coastal landform? Depositional. Beaches, spits, bar, tombolo. Tell me. Which are depositional features? Now you told me about the erosional. Now tell me about the depositional. Think about it. Now always remember, beaches are formed by the deposition. Yes, this is true. Spits and bars both are depositional, and tombolo is also depositional. So here D is the right answer, all of them. Let us see that image once again. Now these are the beaches, this is a depositional. Now have a look at the sand spit. This is a depositional. Can you see that? This is all the deposition happening. And I'll show you more images like that. Okay. Now have a look at this. This is a bar. Got it? This is a bar. So this is all because of the deposition only. And if you talk about this, this is bar, deposition. And have a look at this. This is what tombolo looks like. This is a tombolo. This is also formed because of deposition only. Have a look at this. So this is basically the deposition causing the making of tombolo. So that is all deposition. So I hope you can see that. So that's why all of them were depositional only. And these are erosionals, Stack is erosional, stump is erosional, here arc is erosional, cave is erosional, crack is erosional. So they are all erosional ones. So in coastal topography, they have a lot of landforms. You have to know that which is erosional and which is depositional. So these questions were based on that only. So this is what? This is again a spit, a long spit, you can say. Okay, question number 50. You have a description, you have to give the right answer. Okay, the work of the groundwater in the erosion of the landmass. So tell me, sinkholes and all these. I think the description is very much obvious. Should be able to answer that. The description is very, very obvious. Yeah. This is quite a basic one. Now let me tell you, this is limestone or dolomite based topography, that is karst topography. It is C is the right answer. C is the right answer to this topography. Very easy question this is. So nothing much to explain. So you have to just pick C as the right answer. Good job. Okay, moving ahead, let's now move to the question number 50 is done. 51. Question number 51 says, so we have successfully done 50 questions. So it is related to sand dunes. Sand dunes. You have got two statements. Barchans are crescent shaped landforms. In Barchans, the windward side is concave and leeward side is convex. Tell me. So how Barchans look like? This is how Barchan looks like. You know, they are crescent shape indeed. That is how they are looking like, right? So wind is coming like this. This is how the wind direction is. Now you tell me, when the wind is hitting this side which I'm making in yellow, what do you call this? Is it convex or concave? This is basically the convex side. And this inner side is the concave side. Now you tell me, the windward side is concave? No, it is convex. And leeward side is convex? No, it is concave. So this one is totally incorrect. Are you agreeing with me? So remember that A is the right answer, but the second one is totally incorrect because the windward side is convex and the leeward side is concave. Very important this is. So here A has to be the right answer. Not both the statements are correct. Very important question this is. So in exam, this can cause real confusions among students. So please remember this thing, that the wind is coming like this. This is the convex side and inner side is concave. Yeah. If we talk about the parabolic dunes, they are like that, like wind is coming from here. Okay. So here you can see the windward side is concave like this and leeward side is convex. So you can say they are opposite of the Barchans. So here the windward side is concave and the leeward side is convex. So this is the opposite. So they are having long arms like this. So this is how parabolic dune looks like, and this is how the Barchans look like. So they are a bit smaller. They don't have arms, long arms. They don't have that. So we have to understand that as well. Is that absolutely clear? Okay. So just 2-3 more questions to go. So have some patience. Not many more questions. So this was question number 51. Question number 52 now going to go on your screens. Question number 52. So I targeted at least 50 plus questions. So we are doing that. Polymetallic nodules, PMNs, are primarily composed of which of the two metals? Copper, nickel, manganese, iron, cobalt, zinc, or aluminium, magnesium? Tell me. So almost 25 to 30% is what? And rest 6 to 15% is what? So major two metals, if I talk about, they have to be very strategic: manganese and iron. Remember. And they are in a lot of news, so you have to know polymetallic nodules. They are found on the ocean floor like this. On the ocean floor, we have polymetallic nodules. So 25 to 30% is manganese, of course, and some bit of iron is also there. So if we talk about 50% of the content, that is manganese and iron. Very, very important this is. So remember, polymetallic nodule is these. Got it? So that was question number 52. Now question number 53 we have. That's a final question for the day. Tell me. So we have got two statements. Which of the following is correct? The intensity of the earthquake is measured by the Richter scale. The earthquake prone areas are located along the tectonic plate boundaries. So second statement is surely correct, no doubt. But if I talk about the intensity, so Richter scale will not give you the intensity, it will give you the magnitude. Hai? Magnitude it will give you. Intensity is given by the Mercalli scale. Always remember this thing. Intensity by the Mercalli scale and magnitude by the Richter scale. So first statement is totally incorrect. And yeah, second statement is correct. So that's why I'll go with B as the right answer. Remember, in earthquake chapter, you have to read about body waves and surface waves. That is P waves, S wave, Love wave, Rayleigh wave. And you have to read about the measurement of earthquake also. That is Mercalli scale and this Richter scale. Both are very much important. So you have to have a bare minimum idea that how in the first place are you going to be mastering these things precisely. So you have to focus precisely on that. This is going to be super important. I hope this, the questions which we saw today in this class, you have gained something out of it. That's one thing. And most important thing is that, you have to have a bare minimum idea that how do we answer these questions. That is very much important. So remember that when I talk about the Richter scale, you have to be very much clear that Richter scale basically is focusing on the magnitude. That is precisely the point we need to understand. Richter scale is focusing on the magnitude, and you can see it was developed in 1930s by the Charles Richter. And Mercalli scale is the intensity range of the 1 to 12 you see, that is the Mercalli scale. So how we have to compare, basically that's the thing. So remember this thing, intensity and the magnitude. So this is how Mercalli scale looks like. Earthquake can be weak, slight, strong, very strong, catastrophic. Like this is the Mercalli scale, and Richter scale is a bit different, as you know that. So don't worry, you'll be getting the PDF. Everyone got it. So you, for the people who are preparing for the defense examination, they can join the Telegram channel Defence Pariksha, which you can see the link has been pinned in the comment section, and in fact you can also see that in the description. So Defence Pariksha app is also live, you can download that as well. So that is it from my side for today. I hope you have enjoyed the session. We have done 53 questions. This was a diverse quiz based on the kind of the questions which are asked in the examination. Now tomorrow you have a modern history quiz by Sharad sir, and it's a proper marathon. So I'm sure you all are looking forward to that as well. So from CDS point of view, that is going to be super important for you guys, and I'm sure it will be benefiting so many students amongst you. So make sure you hit the like button and add this video to your liked videos. That's one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, and do share it with your friends in order to help them benefit from such sessions as well. So thank you so very much. That's me, Akash and Dev, signing off, and I hope you had a great time in the session. We'll see you in some other session, and every day, in fact, till 14 September, we'll try 8 p.m. You're going to have such sessions. They are going to be very much enriching sessions for all the people out there. So thank you so very much, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.